This is Julie Pearson, Little Thunder, with the Oklahoma Oral History Research Program at Oklahoma State University. Today is Friday, February 12th, 2021, and this is a remote interview with Beatriz Mayorca for the Library of Congress Occupational Folklife Project, funded by the Archie Green Fellowship. I'm in Tulsa, and Beatriz, you are in Oklahoma City, and we've agreed you can respond to questions either in English or Spanish as it best suits your needs. I'm looking forward to hearing more about your work. Where were you born and where did you grow up?
Well, I born in Maracay City. That is a state, Aragua State in Venezuela. That is a state right in front of the Caribbean Sea. That means that
Ooh.
my life was between the beach and the actually Henry Pittier National Park. That is a beautiful rainforest and full of wildlife, and that is why I love nature.
Oh my goodness, it sounds beautiful. Um, what kind of artwork were you exposed to growing up, however you would define artwork?
Um, I think my life or my family was into the art, uh, in different type of art, music,
Mhm.
and most of them was music. But my family, my grandpa and my brothers, and all we have been in the symphony and philharmonic in Venezuela. But one of my very first time that I was very into the arts was when I moved to Caracas to go to the university there, and I went to Central Venezuela University, University of Central Venezuela, sorry, and that university is full of art, and actually the art that is inlaid into the architecture. I'm also thinking about it. One of my first job that was there when I was there was in the Centro Cultural Consolidado. That is Consolidado was a major bank in Venezuela, and they have that center that is a full of uh, event, and there was shows for Carlos Cruz Diez, or even fashion show from Christian Dior, and even I have opportunity to work when Marcel Marceau came to there, no? And I was only 16 and 17, and I just, that one blew me away. I never know that all this influenced me later on in life. No?
Right. And you did tell me that the university's that UNESCO, it's a World Heritage Site because of that amazing public art which you passed every
Yes.
day.
That university actually is a Ciudad Universitaria, as it's called. Actually, is in the World Heritage as a modern architecture example of modern architecture. And one of the things is not only the architecture itself, but how the art is inlaid into the architecture. And you see pieces that is as the cloud of Alexander Calder, the American artist Alexander Calder, or there is a cloud that is a huge piece that is over the Aula Magna. Uh, 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 the stained glass, like two history told stained glass from Fernand Leger, like the French
Mm-hmm.
artist Fernand Leger at
Mm-hmm.
the main library. We have Venezuelan artists all over the place there.
Mm-hmm.
But also Fernand Leger have a beautiful, beautiful mural that is a double size mural. There's two sizes, and most of the murals there uh, are in mosaic, no, and they are
Oh,
outside mural. Well, they are inside,
uh-huh.
but the outside mural, they are all part of the architecture of all the buildings there, and full of color. And I feel like at that way,
Mm-hmm.
and how that university was built is one of the main inspiration for me. No,
Well,
definitely.
you got a degree in communications. right?
Yes, exactly. I started engineering there. My family, all my family is engineering. My mom, my dad, my uncles, everyone is engineering in my family. I went to the engineering school, and after 2 years, I decided to change career. I did my my vocational test there, and they told me, well, you can go to architecture, odontology, like dentist, or communication. Back then, my mom was single mom. I said, no, dentist and architecture is kind of expensive for me right now. Go to communication. I went to communication and worked there. After I graduated, worked a lot in communication and publicity and graphic design. And then when I came here, is when I decided, well, let's do something different.
How did you land in Oklahoma?
Well, my husband, who is engineer too, he was transferred. He worked in an oil company there, and he was transferred to work here in Oklahoma. Worked there for 25 years. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and last year he wasn't here because he worked on the field, but more international work. But I came here with my two kids, little kids, that back then were 6 years and 5 months old.
Mm. So when you got a chance, I guess, I'm not sure how old the children were, but you went back to school at the University of Central Oklahoma.
Yes, actually 2 years later I decided I need to go there. And one of the main reasons was my English, and I still speaking like a half language English, but it's more for pronunciation problems that don't know the
You're
language.
doing great.
But I decided to go to design, interior design. Well, was here near to me, the UCO, University of Central Oklahoma, because with the two kids was too difficult. Um, I decided go there, and being there is when I needed to take for that a bachelor. In that moment, I needed to take a lot of art classes, and it's when I discovered. I know that it was easy for me, but I never see art as a profession. I see art more as a hobby, and then I discovered that I just fall in love in the art and the sculptural part of the art.
The
Mhm.
three-dimensional things
Yes,
is what you
definitely.
loved. And you got some opportunities to do a bit of sculpture while you were studying then?
Uh,
Did you get a chance to do some sculpture while you were at UCO?
Yes, I did the minor in sculpture, and I focused right with all the major classes in sculpture classes. And definitely, yes, and even did a show with my sculptor professor that she invited me to do a show with her. That was very, very amazing.
Oh,
Barbara Brown. Hmm.
what materials were you using at that time?
Uh, Concrete, most of them, and wood. Yes,
Okay.
and concrete. Well, I think I love concrete. I cannot lie. I love
From the
concrete.
beginning, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, what did you do after you left UCO?
Well,
After
immediately
you
after
graduated?
yes, when I left, I started working. I did a few interior design jobs uh, by myself, and I joined also at the same time group that is called what's called French, that is Oklahoma City Women Artists. I
Mm-hmm.
start building also my art job and my art curriculum with them. Uh, and I was missing between both, between the art and the design. I wanted to job in architectural field, but for some reason that didn't happen, and I opened at the my studio. Actually, I opened my studio because when I was in school, and with the two kids, it was impossible for me going to the workshop there and start and doing the work and start buying my little tools and little tools and little tools to be able to do the projects here in my house. I end with a lot of tools, and my husband said, "Do you know you cannot keep all that in the garage?"
In the garage. When did you open your studio?
Well, I have the opportunity with Christy Hackler, that is an artist here in Oklahoma City too. She is a good friend of David Felf. She rent a space there, and I joined her. Christy Hackler was the let's see the person that also they opened the French group.
Oh, I see. The founder.
Yes, and I went there with her, and later on, after a few years, she lived there. She opened her own studio here in Edmond, and I stayed there. I rent the whole space because the tools that I use are big, and it's time getting big and big.
Right.
Yes, and I have been there since 2011 now.
Now, when you make a lot of really beautiful design pieces, furniture, lamps, tables, chairs, do you do the whole piece from start to finish? Do you create a prototype and then someone else puts it together?
I do every single thing. My hands are in all the steps. I go from these sketches to then go into the computer and maybe use a CAD program and do all the layout and the dimension. But my pieces over are very detailed. I need to fix all perfectly. I'm very engineering. That's a part of the engineering part of my life is there.
Sure.
And then build all the pieces, even if it's wood or it's metal. The only extra job that maybe I contract is if I need to power coating a piece or special coating a particular metal piece. But the rest is all mine.
All you. Yeah, they're really beautiful. And how about your sculpture? As you mentioned, you're working with concrete. That's a challenge sometimes to have that upper body strength, no matter what kind of sculpture you're doing. If you're doing bigger size sculptures, how did you meet that challenge?
Well, first was a lot of manpower, woman power.
A lot of woman power.
A lot of woman power.
Sore muscles.
Now I have a big crane at the studio that helped me a lot. My husband arms help a lot to me. No, but organization, from the professional point of view, organization, and I get it more into the steps and organize all to be able to make all the pieces together.
You do some welding also, I imagine.
Yes, actually.
How did you learn that?
The last piece was all welding, and a lot of welding and grinding. Yes, and I enjoy. I don't know. I enjoy a lot of power tools, and I think that I don't know metal and metal was something that I discovered later when after I graduated. Actually, being with Christy Hackler there, and she and David felt it's a metal sculpture and bronze sculpture, and that is what like opening the door, inviting me to that work.
I see, because you would often consult with her if you got in a bind or had. Cool. What was the professional art scene like when you first broke into it? It sounds like women were struggling to make a place for themselves a bit.
Definitely, yes. And overall, the work that I do, there is a lot of actually need a lot of strength, and not everyone see me or see a woman like I know she's a welder or she can do that. Sometimes when I show people that is my work, they feel like I designing another person build it. no. But well, there is a process. To be here, and that is one of the things I always told with a young artist: you need to keep going, and people can say whatever, but just you focus on what you want and just keep
Right. You don't pay
running.
attention.
Mm-hmm.
What was an early break, an early good piece of luck in your career?
Here, I think because one of the thing that I really wanted to do was public art, not because I wanted to be public artist, it's like the field itself really uh, uh, passion me because it's a joint of architecture and art and design that's all together there. Was the award that the Invitational Artist Award that I won back in 2018, I think. That the Downtown Oklahoma City Partnership have.
Right.
And that with that award, I did my first public art award. That is a series of benches, concrete metal, and mosaic art benches that
Yes.
are in downtown Oklahoma City, right from the Oklahoma City Museum of Art. And that was really opened the doors to that, starting that field. And I learned a lot, just a lot. The people from the city, Oklahoma City, that I really needed to work with them, helped me a ton, but educated me a lot in that field. Uh, I really, that was what I was very lucky to be able to do that.
What are some of the things you learned in
Well,
that
art
process?
in that process, the process itself in being and the public artist is the communication between the whole stakeholders and the city, and not only the people that, or the organization of the art itself, the office of the art or the public art, but also all the engineerings, maybe the people from the part departments, and all the guidelines and rules and American with Disability Act that you need to take in consideration, and the federal guidelines, all that there is a learning process. I'm still learning, but I love that part. No every artist love that administrative part, and that I really enjoy
But you
that
have
part.
your communications degree, so
Yes, exactly.
you were well suited. You've won some other commissions. One was the Meineck Furniture Fellowship to study with Vivian Beer in Boston. Were you already familiar with her work, and what did you learn during that time?
Well, I that was a award that I won with the Society of Art and Craft, the Minek 42 Fellowship in 2019. With that fellowship, my intention was to do the workshop with Vivian, an intense workshop, in 2020, which was
Oh,
canceled. Yes,
oh,
last weekend I did a workshop with her. It was all online, and I am over the moon with all that I learned because she wore actually concrete and metal a lot, complete different styles, but I learned a lot from her, and I'm going to do another one this Sunday that is all about 3D, digital, uh, how to use all the digital printing, not 3D printing, oh my God, 3D technology and digital technology to create your art pieces, no? And a few more things, but that is the thing that really I wanted to use for with the Minek uh, fellowship that I won. But that actually that fellowship, part of that fellowship was to improve my studio. Yeah, and I
mm-hmm.
was able to buy a few great tools
Oh, good.
that, yes.
Another award you got was the Gale Pool Travel Award. I hope that was before 2020. I don't remember.
Yes, it was late 2019. I was with that award. I was the opportunity to go to the Sofa Fair in Chicago. That is a sculptural object and functional art fair. And I did a lot of research and all the galleries and the new trends and the new materials. Glass is a big thing there, and all with a glass interests me, but also I don't know why I feel like I need this is be a glass artist. You need to have a team or be part of a team because it's a lot of work between a teamwork. Uh, always I don't know, como me llama la atención,
Yeah, call attention to.
pero a la vez me intimida, ¿no? Me,
Mm-hmm.
me intimida, no sé por qué. Ellos de lengua.
Well, and Chicago is such a beautiful art city too. Did you have any time to look around?
I love Chicago. Yeah.
What are some of the differences maybe between the Venezuelan attitude towards art? I mean, not that there's one attitude, but possible differences in attitude in Venezuela towards art and towards art here in Oklahoma.
Okay, my experience, I don't want to talk about the last 20 years because Venezuela changed politically that affect the whole Venezuela. But right. Before that, Venezuela has been very open to the art and also not only public art, theater, music, all that. I always have been influenced and always have been there. No, here in Oklahoma, I feel like it's opening right now, and it's growing. The last few years, it's growing. It has been growing fast, and the art community itself has been growing a lot. I think for that. No,
great.
That opening that is the feel like I don't know about the other cities, but maybe Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Norman, Edmond, they are opening a lot and supporting the artists. Yes,
that's nice to hear.
Yes.
How about galleries? Are they important for selling your work? Is it more important to do your website sales? How do you handle that?
No, website sales hasn't been the big one. The galleries, yes. Galleries shows help a lot. But the last few years have been my focus on public art, that the art shows have been go down not go down because I didn't have the time to create for that show. Like you really need to create a body of work to do it.
Right.
But galleries is the one that really help in get the process of the money.
Getting your work out to the public.
Yeah.
Are you applying for any big public art projects at the moment?
Yes, I am applying for few. I nobody don't say for which one. When I apply. I just finished one in December. I always feel very tired after, because it's intense process. It's one day and after the other one. But yes, I'm looking forward to a new one.
So you need like a month to recuperate or something?
Something like that. Something like that, really.
What are some of your favorite sculpting materials and or interior design materials?
Definitely.
Are they
different? I think wood, the warm feeling of the wood. The concrete, I think concrete is not that how it grows and by his texture change with the time and his feeling shape with the time. I think, and it's getting beautiful with the time. And metal also uh, delight me. Both metal and more metal in rustic form and the stain form and the
It gets that
weathery.
patina and the weathering.
Very industrial, very industrial feelings.
So the character comes through with those materials.
Yes.
And do you use them in your interior design work as much, or is that a different set of?
It's a different set. Interior design is not about me. Interior design is different. Interior design is more about the clients, and you do your best to get the client needs. Maybe you educate the client in what they like it and the style that they like it. But I don't go to give them my style because I wanted my style in your life. No, you need to feel comfort in your life and with what you want and what your style is.
Right, right. You have several design lines, interior design lines. Can you talk about your Latin pieces?
Yes, my Latin pieces are focused in good memory from my country, as I have the one that is the angel fall that is inspired in the Salto Angel waterfall that is the highest waterfall in the world that is there in Venezuela. I have the Cata launcher that is inspired on the Bahia de Cata where I grew up there. There is a beach in like a 30 minutes from my house. The canoa, that is the canoa chair is inspired of the canoa that the people use there on the rivers in Venezuela. I have the Orinoco, that is a beautiful actually canoa, like a wooden piece. All are inspired from good memories from my country. Like I wanted to bring that memory with me and like I share with everyone. And actually, that is the one, even in my other collection, that is the thing that I wanted to share the good memories and bring a smile to the people.
That's a good goal. You received the Hispanic Artist of the Year award. What was that like? How did that feel?
Well, that was like a very I didn't expect it. That is the thing that you are working and you didn't know that other people are looking for of your work. You know, wow, something like I didn't really didn't expect to receive that one. But that I think that was by 2015, and I was very proud and impressed about it. No, that I'm going to see. Well, my work is paying off.
You've talked about your work as reflecting both kind of global influences and also mestizo influences. Can you talk about that a little more?
Yes, because sometimes when you talk about, okay, I am Hispanic artist or I am from Venezuela, my art is not exactly about Venezuelan roots or Venezuelan craftsmanship. It's about when you move to another country, you start knowing another cultures, and you get all these cultures and all this knowledge get together and like a melting pot, no? And because my art is very, I feel like my art has very some modern and more clean lines. It's kind of a mix of both worlds. Like this my culture and Latin. I also use a lot of color, even though there's concrete and metal and wood. They are the main, but a lot of colors are involved. And I feel that the color is part of my Hispanic heritage, but also I have a lot of influence for European
right, European
history, European history. And it's a mix. It's a mix, and I think it's a beautiful thing when we can start mixing and knowing another cultures and another ways to see.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, talk about what it was like when you first moved into your studio and you actually
Well,
were
when I
working
just
there.
first, when I moved to my studio, I actually was working for a show for the Science Museum here in Oklahoma City. And it was crazy month. I remember that very busy month there. But excited to be able to have my own space. And sometimes when I see the pictures back, I see when I was working in my garage, that the garage actually came to the house, and all the and all the pieces are there, and then how I grow to my own space. That it's like wow, I didn't because you start working and you didn't see how the evolution of your work is, because you are in the work itself, and you see, wow, I see why I say, well, I have been growing a little bit. Yes, in that area.
What was one of the most challenging sculptures you've done so far?
I think all my pieces have a little bit challenge, because it's a lot of engineering and detail oriented, not only from the design point of view, but also for the making, because my piece, I didn't know how my piece, my work is until the end, and all the little pieces together. And every one of my pieces is different. It's not like I am a pants designer, and I just change the fabric and the color. But every single piece is different, and they are built different. And all my pieces are a challenge, but I love challenge in that way, because I learn at tons, learn at tons in each of my work. Mm-hmm.
Do you have any apprentices right now?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Not right now.
You will. You're currently preparing for a show at the Hall of Fame in Oklahoma City.
The show opened this week,
Oh, okay.
Tuesday. Yes, I'm going to be running until April the 9th, I think. There are going to be a few artist talk online, where with all this COVID thing, the opening and the show is going to be kind of different. But I'm going to have, I think, 3 talks, online talk, 1 artist talk. I think 1 for kids also. And I'm going to have a meet and greeting the artists, but late in March. I think late in March or April. Mm-hmm.
Cool. How many
Yes.
pieces? How many pieces did you
I
put in?
have there, I think, 8 pieces, 8 to 9 pieces there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was there a theme, a particular theme?
It's more a retrospective. I have 1 piece that I love, that is the Crowder Newton balls. That is one of my very, very, very first pieces. And I have furnitures, concrete furnitures, and have lighting. I have a couple of concrete sculptures too. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you had any other virtual shows during the pandemic?
No. Last year I always cancel.
Yes.
And right now I don't have that one that opened this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't.
How did? Go ahead.
No, I didn't want it to. Maybe it's the thing is because it's different right now, that is all that that we don't know what's going to happen. No. Yeah, never mind.
Right. How did you get through the pandemic? It's hard as an artist.
Yes, as an artist, it was hard. I thank God, even though that all of my shows and the plans changed completely. Actually, I got help from the NALAC. NALAC is the National Art Organization for the Latinx community. I got help
Uh-huh.
from there.
Oh, good.
Uh, but well, when few door close, another opens, and I have the
Mhm.
opportunity in August last year start with my art in residency on the
Y-
University of Central Oklahoma, and that
Yes.
helped me a lot.
Where you
And
went to school.
yes, exactly, and that was a big help. Uh, the pandemic personally was hard because actually my husband lost his job, the 25 years job in April last
Oh,
year,
oh,
and we
bless your
figured out
hearts.
we were here and just stronger and get it together and learn a lot. I use the pandemic a lot for organization,
Mm.
put my all my stuff together, my my all my art together and organize some pictures and all, even my own personal uh, history and all the writing papers and all that together. Um, that we should, as an artist, keep in up there. But uh, one more thing, I actually all this online conversation uh, that opened with this pandemic. I was opportunity to join few of them where I hear from designers and artists from all over the world that maybe never in my life I thought I was able to hear them or to just to have a conversation with them. Uh, I think that was a good scene from the 2020.
You've kind of found a new community and a new
Hmm.
community there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Um, so how is it going doing your residency? How is that going for you?
Well, this residency is more focused on teaching. It's in the design department, and actually, I've good. I ended that residency in May this year.
Hmm.
It's learning a lot. The teaching is not about me only. I learn is more about the students and what
Hmm.
they can do, and even the background, because every person is different. It's not about the class, but how I can teach and make that a student individual learn with what they have, what I wanted to not only about. I really always teach not only about the class itself, but also about my experience as an artist and a designer. Bring that to them.
Hmm.
I think that is very important. And I as an artist or as a professional college teacher, I think that is a very important aspect to bring to the students where it's going outside.
For sure, to prepare them when they graduate.
Hmm.
What's a new material or a new piece that you've uh, been working with that you're especially excited about?
Well, material itself, I am. It's more about the technique,
Mm-hmm.
the use of the digital technology to make my life easier building the pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Learn use how to use Rhino program. That is a digital program. Even
Mm-hmm.
to run this one into a router, I have the opportunity to have my own router table. The metal router table, the big one, I can now cut electronically all the pieces.
Wow.
Um, and actually, with the Vivian Beer classes that I've been taking online, uh,
Mm-hmm.
learning about this technology, and also one of the things that I am open right now that I'm very interested in learning and keep learning is a molding make a mold no molding make metal molding. Do it look
Oh,
at
okay.
that because my board is very square and
Mm-hmm.
I have maybe few organic pieces, but I want to
Mm-hmm.
work more organic in metal.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Mm-hmm.
And that is
Yeah.
my new thing or my new focus. And also bring aluminum, that is a light metal, to be
Uh-huh.
able also to make my life easier with the heavy thing. Yeah.
That sounds
And
great.
in the public art field, work with materials that are more durable and weather resistant is very important, and that is one of the things I wanted to keep learning in that.
That's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To have that in mind. Um, well, what's been the biggest highlight of your art career so far?
Maybe the piece that I installed in December, that is for
Uh-huh.
the Capitol Hill Library. That is a huge outdoor structural sculptural structure. There are three big metal paper-like airplanes. Each one is like 9 by 10 feet big,
Wow.
and they are hanging with cable. That was I think that was a very special for me. And also, it's very special because it's from uh, a library that is in a Hispanic community,
Oh,
was
neat.
inspired not only about the library itself, but because the airplanes are origami, and that means that origami is not only an art, a technique, but also involves a lot of math and social math, engineering, and physics, and a lot of curricula related with
Yes.
what we learn in the library. But
Yes.
also that particular library, the site is where the first airplane take off here in
Oh my
Oklahoma.
goodness. Oh,
Yes,
okay. Yeah.
and they are very colorful and very playful. That is what the Hispanic community, the color of the Hispanic community, and that freedom to play on the street. That is the thing that I miss from my country. I really wanted that my kids go to the street to play. But that's one of my proud moments. Yes, that one, or the last one.
Yeah.
I think that can.
I can't wait to see that.
Yes, I need to send you the pictures.
Yes, that would be great.
Mhm.
I'll see it in person someday too. Um, what has been a low point in your career?
Hmm. Hmm. I don't. Maybe there are moments. Maybe last year was
Mm.
the start of last year. The 2020 was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I should close the studio because we need to pay rent, and we need to keep paying insurance. We need to pay the bills and the utilities. And is that decision, okay, what am I going to do? I should close, I should keep going, or I should leave the country. What am I going to,
Mm-hmm.
no? Because when
Mm-hmm.
you get in that point, maybe that I was here, and of course, when my husband was working or working excellent, and I was able to do all that I did because I have another person that also
Right.
help with the bills and help with that. But after a big talk, is one decision. Okay, I cannot put all into a side because I already grew and I built a career, no,
Right.
in the
Right.
arts, and I need to keep going,
That's
and
right.
we'll figure out on the way.
That's right. We need your work. Um, is there anything else you'd like to talk about that we didn't get to cover?
Mm, no, I don't remember right now. No, I am maybe just so grateful for the invitation, and actually that one of the things that you didn't expect. No, I
Yeah.
feel like my life is full of unexpected things because as I say, I work and work and work. I don't see maybe why I grow what I'm building back, ¿no? I am building, I don't know how to say, de todo lo que estoy realizando que deja huellas, ¿no? Las huellas que voy dejando, entonces uno no realiza o no,
Right.
o no las veo, ¿no? Sino porque estoy viendo nada más lo que estoy
Right.
haciendo,
You're
¿no?
focused on what's in front of you and you're not thinking about all those things. Yeah. Well, we just, I really enjoyed what I've seen of your work online. I hope to see it all in person. And I just thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Julie. Well, you are more than welcome. Anytime that you come here, I can go all around with you and show my work.
That would be neat. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Julie.